Actually, I just want to summarize what I have because when you calculate the hours from Liberia here, and sometimes it's good to give a very long speech. But let me just summarize what I have to say. This is very important. Let me beg that we observe protocol so as to save some of our time. Officers and members of the United Nations Organization in the Americas, UNIBOA federal citizens of Grand Bassa County, residents in the US of A, federal Liberian in the USA, guests, friends, well-wishers, ladies and gentlemen. I bring you the officials and members of UNIBOA greetings from the people of Grand Bassa and the county legislative caucus. I also have the pleasing duty of greeting you on behalf of fellow Bassa citizens and other people from other sub-political divisions that have been invited here to participate in this important ceremony. I am delighted to inform all citizens of Bassa at this program about the high sense of national duty which we, members of the Legislative Caucus, have cultivated among ourselves after my election on January 14, 5 months ago. And we are resolved to maintain this conscious spirit of working for the betterment of our country and county during our tenure. I wish to extend my heartfelt gratitude to the leadership and organizing committee of UNIBOA for inviting me to witness and participate in the 25th National Convention of the organization. I am greatly honored by the gesture and consider it the beginning of the window of opportunities, if I may paraphrase the theme of this occasion, for our work together, not basically for our individual success, but by and large for the ultimate good of Grand Bassa County and the people of Grand Bassa. With their concept in mind, I want to say emphatically that the theme of this convention would not have come at a more appropriate time than this. As we all know, as an undisputed fact, our country, Liberia, has remained underdeveloped from 1847 up to present, almost 2 centuries after independence. For example, a team of professors headed by Robert Pollard from the Cornell University here in the USA once described Liberia backwardness in his book titled Growth Without Development and Economic Survey of Liberia. And the pretext addressing the book is that Liberia was not developed, even though she was a major exporter of rubber and iron ore to post-World War commodities, which were in demand and which guaranteed substantial revenue for the country. Present statistics categorized the nation of the world on the basis of poverty, ranked Liberia as the third poorest nation in the world. Also on the basis of development, Liberia is listed at the bottom ranking of the world's least developed country. We also know that our protracted nightmare of underdevelopment was made worse by the 15 years of brutal and destructive civil conflict. This is not to say the latest about the recent nationwide Ebola saga. The loss in human capital and the obstruction of national growth from these events were numerous, and this month, fellow citizens, ladies and gentlemen, I have cited these examples, particularly the shipment of rubber, iron ore in the 50s and 60s, the baseline period used by the Cornell professor to remind us that Grand Bassa County, by extension, still remain willfully underdeveloped. Again, the parallel in this, that Basa was also exporting rubber at that time. Basa also provided the SIPO, which billions of tons of high-grade iron ore were shipped to the world market and sold at rate commensurate with the quality of the ore. We also know that Buchanan City became a major rebel stronghold and that the port city was used for illicit shipment of iron ore, log, rubber, scraps by rebel leaders and its collaborators. Officials and members of UNIBOA, ladies and gentlemen, these are some of the basic reasons why I always said that the selection of your team for this 2015 National Convention would not have come at an appropriate and opportune time. Why? Because the team implies that you are aware not only of the need to work together in unity to succeed in your collective endeavor here in the United States, but more importantly, the team also take into serious consideration the dire need for all citizens at home and in the diaspora to work together as a unified team for the upliftment of our people and county. Beginning this 21st century, in other words, the subject of this occasion presents both the challenge and the glorious opportunity for all of us to pledge and place our talents, gifts, and knowledge and skills at the disposal of our county for the progress of change. Let me therefore use this opportunity you have provided me that your 2015 team corresponds with our personal philosophy on change and our vision of change in Grand Bassa County. 8 years before my elections as senator, I was privileged to serve as director of the Department of Community Services of the United Methodist Church in Liberia, with funding in the tune of $8 million from partners in Europe, Norway, to be exact. We constructed many schools with teacher quarters, library, clinics, bridges, hand pumps of safe drinking water, etc. We also provided sanitary facilities and established agricultural projects in 15 of the 14 counties of Liberia. I am very pleased to inform this gathering that Grand Bassa County is a proud recipient of these community development projects, with many areas in all 4 districts of the county benefiting substantially. Officials of UNIBOA, my fellow Basolian, I am delighted to also inform you that in appreciation of the amount and quality of community development initiative of the United Methodist Church under our leadership, the people of Grand Bassa County made a sealing political decision during the special senatorial elections on December 20, 2014. They overwhelmingly elected me as senator for all citizens of the county, including those in the diaspora. Even though my work as director of the Community Services Department and projects in Grand Bassa County provided me with the first-hand information on the part of our people, I however embarked upon a county-wide tour as part of my activities during my first 100 days in office as senator. The purpose was to gather more facts in addition to what I have already obtained, and it is a heartbreaking to discover the vicious cycle of problems which over the years have overwhelmed our county and people, and which continue to persist even in this century of high-tech, rapid development, and social economic advancement. For example, our people are still traveling 9 to 12 or more hours on foot with heavy loads on their heads because of the nearly 22-century-old problem of lack of road network. Many times, women in labor pain and helpless sick people who are being carried long distances in Hamon on the shoulder of men to the only available but ill-filtered and poorly staffed clinic usually die on their way as a result of non-existing roads. And this is just the tip of the iceberg, not mentioning the huge economic, social, and economic educational constraints presented by this generational problem of role. And I am delighted to let you know that your invitation to me has provided me an added opportunity in continuing my acquaintance drive and need assessment, which I began in 8 of the 9 administrative districts in Grand Bassa County. I started on the 5th of March 2015. That is to say, one of the main reasons why I accepted your invitation is for us to be acquainted in order for us to discuss the way forward for change in Grand Bassa County. Time cannot allow me to provide a detailed account of my 500 days in office as a senator. I have therefore brought a copy of the narrative of my activities during the 100-day period, and we should request the leadership of UNIBOA to provide copy to members. I will conclude by extending my heartfelt thanks and appreciation to the leadership and member of UNIBOA for inviting me to witness and take part in this 25th National Convention of this organization with a great responsibility to Grand Bassa County. I would also love to repeat our shared vision for Grand Bassa County and to commend you for this year's team working together in unity for success. The team presents a moderate challenge to all grown-up sons and daughters to take good care of their biological parent, which symbolically refer to Grand Bassa County as a parent body, or the landscape for whence all comes. In other words, by students at home and abroad are under moral obligation to work together for one goal and build a team and give Bassa the best social, economic, and geopolitical care that will free 8 people from the shores of poverty, ignorance, and premature death and other demonizing conditions. Yes, my friends, we, the present generation, are on compulsory obligation to set the stage to sustain growth, development, and prosperity for Grand Bassa County, unprecedented in the history of our beloved country. I promise at this historic gathering that my office will do everything possible to work with you, UNIBOA, in your collective pursuit in translating your vision into reality for the prosperity of people of Bassa. Let me use this time to say thank you for the honor, at least expected this, and hope that in subsequent time of our meeting we'll discuss the way forward, how we can move around Bassa County. Thank you, and God bless all of us.